Hello again. Welcome to another Saturday Q&A. As always, we're answering them straight off the phone. So if you want your question answered, keep an eye on my stories on Instagram and get one in next time you see a Q&A pop up. Anyways, we'll hop right into this and get right to it. First question up. What advice would you give to a teenager who wants to be a bodybuilder? This one is very near and dear to my heart because I grew up in the time of like pro hormones being at like their absolute prevalence. And I watched all of my friends take pro hormones and put on like 15, 20, 30 pounds in like 4 months. And it really upset me because at the time I was really working hard. I was eating like 5 times a day, training my ass off, and it was really upsetting. But, Lee was in my head. My dad was in my head. Like, don't take those. It's going to really mess you up. Just it's marathon, not a sprint. You're growing so fast now. Like, it's your natural years. Just go for it. So, begrudgingly listened. And, sure enough, fast forward a couple years, everyone ended up with gyno or, really jacked out liver enzymes, this, that, and another. And I'm telling you that story to illustrate the fact that bodybuilding is a marathon, not a sprint. If you really, really want to be good at bodybuilding, like competitive bodybuilding, you don't just want to be the biggest guy in your gym or have big arms for girls. It is going to take time. And the only thing that rushing it's going to do is make sure you don't get there. You're going to burn your body out. You're going to burn yourself out mentally. It's just not good. So as a teenager first getting into it, I would tell you to enjoy it. Take time to build habits, learn about training, learn about nutrition, learn about supplementation. Just really take everything in. And like I said, as a teenager, it's your best growing years naturally. Don't rush things and miss out on that growth. So, yeah. All right. Thoughts on belt squat and what day you would program them in. Love me a good belt squat for really loading legs without any kind of spinal loading. As far as whether they're hitting quads or hams, I would argue that while you could bias it to, hit a little bit more glute or ham than normal, at the end of the day, it's a squat pattern and it's going to hit your quads pretty tremendously. So what can we do to bias it hitting your quad? You can think about initiating your squat by breaking at the knee, getting your knees out way over your toes. You can think about using things like elevation boards to increase knee flexion. If you're squatting on a pit shark, you can play around with the hole that you have it hooked up on to, really get that front load, like trying to think what I'm saying, that load to where it's pulling you forward. So you're fighting actively the load forward. So yeah, love a good belt squat. Like I said. What is your favorite / least favorite thing about bodybuilding? My favorite thing about bodybuilding absolutely is being in the gym and training. My least favorite thing about bodybuilding absolutely has to be shaving. Just call it how it is. At this point, it takes me like an hour and a half to shave from the neck down, and it's exhausting. The leaner you get, the harder it gets too. So that's always fun, and the less energy you have, right? All right. Have you started on your routine for the O? I have not started on my routine for the O. Lee and I are currently going back and forth with music. We're texting each other songs like on the daily, really trying to figure out the song that we want to use, and then we'll jump off on creating the routine. Okay. Another question. Do you think the Stairmaster is a poor cardio choice because of the belief that it detracts from the legs? I don't think Stairmaster is a poor cardio choice. I think it's a great, cardio piece that really can get your heart rate up quick, fast, and in a hurry. That being said, I do believe that, as you get deeper into your prep, or if, legs are a weak point and you're really trying to preserve tissue, I do believe that it can, eat up some tissue in your legs, especially, like I said, as you get farther into prep and the calories get really low. Um, you really have to think about cardio simply being energy expenditure. At the end of the day, that's all it is. Just because your legs really burn when you get done doing cardio on the Stairmaster does not mean it's any better, than the cardio you did on the bike, as long as we're still creating the same amount of energy expenditure. So keep that in mind. All right. What is the best way to add thickness to the back, the mid back? So I'm assuming you're talking like rhomboids, traps, that kind of thing. And I would say that a good chest supported T-bar row, focusing on just getting your elbows as far back as possible would be your best bet for that. This is a good one. Have you tried squat shoes? If so, are they worth the money if you have bad ankle mobility? I have squat. I have squat. I swear I speak English. I have tried squat shoes, and this is my honest take on them. I'd much rather train legs in Vans, not have to change shoes just to squat in, and take the money that I saved not buying, a nice pair of squat shoes and buy a set of the prime wedges. You'll be able to get a lot more use out of those prime wedges across a lot more exercises, and they accomplish the same thing. Okay. Where can I buy the cuffs you use for cable work? So the cuffs that I use for all of my cable work are from Joe Bennett, Hypertrophy Coach. You can purchase them on his website, which I believe is hypertrophycoach.com. Could be wrong, but roundabouts. That'll put you in the right area. All right. A couple more, then we'll call this one. Your opinion on FST7 training. I think it's produced quite a few Olympia champions over the year. Proof's in the pudding, as they say, and there's quite a bit of proof in Heine's pudding. But no, all joking aside, it was really fun to see him and Derek train in the gym a couple weeks back, and you'll see him firsthand put Derek through an FST7 chest session, and I got like one set where he really wrecked my world and back. So I think it's got a lot of merit. Obviously, a lot of his athletes do very well on it. So I haven't tried it personally, that being said. So yeah, that's about as much of an opinion as I can give if I haven't tried it personally, I guess. All right, one more. This is a good one. We'll end with this one. Advice for someone starting their first prep for an NPC show. How was your first bodybuilding show prep? I love getting asked this question, and I say the same thing to everyone. When you do your first show, remember that competing is not only a choice that you made to do, but it is a privilege to do. You are going to the gym every single day. You're going to the gym twice a day sometimes if you're doing cardio. You are eating 6 times a day. Those 6 meals typically will have very high quality sources of protein and carbohydrates. You're spending thousands of dollars to compete, spending thousands of dollars on a coach. It is very much so a privilege to do. No one is forcing you to do it. That being said, don't act like those around you are forcing you to do it. Don't take out your hangry moments on them. Don't be a dick to people. It's really, really easy to start feeling sorry for yourself in prep. Don't. Remind yourself that you're the one choosing to do it, and take some pride in the fact that you're doing something that not a lot of people can do. Remember that. And on that note, we will end this one. If you like this Q&A, be sure to subscribe. Like I said, we're going to be doing them every Saturday. Always going to answer them straight off my phone. So if you want your question answered, be sure to keep an eye out on my stories on Instagram. See you next time.